This episode of Inside the Game is powered by MSI Gaming. The game just got real. Head to our website at insidethegame.ca for all the details. So we had some pretty big shocking news coming out of PlayStation this week. Over on PlayStation's Twitter account, they put out a tweet stating that Shawn Layden, the chairman of Worldwide Studios for PlayStation, is leaving. Over on PlayStation's Twitter account, it stated, "It is with great emotion that we announce that Worldwide Studio chairman Shawn Layden will be departing SIE. His visionary leadership will be greatly missed. We wish him success in future endeavors and are deeply grateful for his years of service. Thanks for everything, Shawn." So we reached out to PlayStation and they came back with apologies, but we can't comment. Can't say I'm really that surprised, but something doesn't seem right. PlayStation 5 is just around the corner, and Shawn Layden, the guy who's chairman of the Worldwide Studios, is leaving? Something's fishy. Where is he going? What's he doing? Is he heading to Xbox? How about Stadia? Who knows? I'd love to hear your feedback. Hit us up at insidethegame.ca and let us know.
Alright, so we're coming up to the 1-year anniversary for Hitman 2, and they've announced a really cool roadmap for the month of October. We are packed full of free content updates, and let's check it out. So for the month of October, we have a lot of new escalation contracts, we have some new elusive targets, and a fun little trick-or-treat contract, just to kind of spice things up for Halloween.
Sony has announced that PlayStation Now is dropping in price. So what used to cost $100 for the whole year will now be $80. Instead of a $20 monthly, it's down to $13. Now, the way PlayStation Now is different from the other types of streaming services is that it streams from the cloud. Now, this is exciting because it allows you to play these games now for the first time on PC. Among the library of PlayStation Now games, we will see such huge titles as God of War, Grand Theft Auto 5, Infamous Second Son, and Uncharted 4: A Thief's End.
What is this?
It's the World Serpent. I am!
What is it saying?
He wants to help us!
Great news for Sony fans and maybe people that aren't so big Sony fans like me. Now I can finally play on PC. That sounds really cool. There's also going to be a rotating list of games coming in. Each month they're going to have new hits, so check it out.
So Sony's cross-platform play was in beta phase for the PlayStation 4, and it's now being fully released as a full feature for developers to go in and start using it when they're developing the new games. Strangely, Sony has made no official announcement about crossplay being promoted to a full feature. The news instead comes from a Wired article which states that crossplay is now available to any developer that wishes to implement it in their game. Call of Duty Modern Warfare seems likely to be the first new game to support this at launch, with it being set for release later this month. Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Jim Ryan explained to Wired in the same article that Sony has to keep pushing PlayStation and its features in order to survive the next generation. Crossplay certainly helps show that Sony isn't willing to believe its current dominance will ensure guaranteed success in the upcoming generations.
Mortal Kombat 11 is getting a new character. We're getting the T-800 Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't voice him, but he sure sounds pretty close. And we're also getting a new Cassie Quinn skin. That's a mouthful.
You are also a cyborg.
No, just cybernetically enhanced.
You will be terminated.
Fight!
Get over here.
Finish him. Fatality. The Terminator wins.
Is this a nightmare in 1998? No, this is daymare.
My instincts have always kept me alive. And this time's no different. They weren't wrong. Company sought to control everyone and everything in this town. But they were wrong. It's not always possible. Not with those like me. Like us.
Alright, Nate, we're back again this week, and this time we checked out Daymare 1998. Now, this one I had not heard of before, but jumping into it, what an action-packed kind of blockbuster experience, just out of nowhere.
Man, absolutely. So for me, I love the Dead Space series and the Resident Evil series, and if you don't know what those are, they're just kind of like the classic staples of for horror games and video games. So hopping into this, I found like it was a mesh of kind of both these games into one. It was just scary, action-packed, and just you're always in suspense the entire time. There's no not a lot of points where you're like,
yeah, you do not get a chance to rest in this game, because it's a third-person shooter and it's over-the-shoulder camera, and that was kind of popularized by Resident Evil and some others, but you can definitely feel the Resident Evil thumbprint on this one. So you have to walk around, you can pull out your gun, you move a little bit slower, you have very limited ammo, and one of the really cool details about this game is it's so detailed, in fact, that you have to keep your clips after you run out of bullets. So there's kind of this built-in survival difficulty, and I really loved it. Just jumping into that Resident Evil action, followed up with the cutscenes that I thought were really, really cool. Like,
absolutely, graphically, the game is awesome. I was playing it on lower settings, and it looked great. I got to see it on Ultra, the best that you can have, and it's stunning, honestly. It completely shocked me, actually.
The rain effects, the blood splatter, the characters, everything looks really good in this game, and it has that AAA polish. which was strange because this game just came out of nowhere.
Absolutely, man. A true shock.
Yeah. Now these cutscenes are really cinematic, and it also kind of takes that moment to introduce like some humor into it too, because your character at the beginning is very this action hero. He's got this Metal Gear Solid Snake voice, and he's
cliche. I will
it's very
say that.
Cliche, yeah, it seemed kind of action movie-esque, where some military guy is trying to get Bruce Willis back into the fight one more time, and that's kind of the bravado of the characters. And I thought that was really good, and it kind of lightened the mood a little bit. What would normally be a very dark game. So this game's bloody. It's survival. You find a survivor right off the start, and that's where you learn how to raise your gun. So this game, it goes there.
Yeah, it's very dark. So the character that you start out playing with, which this game actually, you don't just play as one character. I don't want to spoil too much.
It has
there is some double crossing,
has some turns,
and some kind of crossing of the stories, and they did a really great job on that.
Yeah, the storyline is definitely the plus in this game, but they also kind of bring you through a lot of action sequences, horror sequences, and then some weird puzzles.
Oh, the puzzles is definitely an important thing in this game, because, you know, there's lots of games where they're just kind of thrown in there to open the story. You just need to connect the pipes, right?
Oh, the pipe minigame,
like,
yeah.
that's in everything.
I never want to see the pipe minigame again.
Unless it's BioShock Remastered.
That would be
again,
acceptable.
Which I guess it did. But
yeah.
Anyways, that all to say, the puzzles, they're very intricate, and they make you think, but at the same time, there's only one where I was like, okay, this is ridiculously, this is really hard, but for the most part, it was just a good balance between hard and like the satisfaction of I've figured this out, but not spending too much time.
Yeah, the satisfaction was really there, and these little collectibles around the maps that you're looking for, and you're picking up health items, clips, and these little dossier kind of folders, and you read through those, and that sometimes gives you a hint of what the puzzle's going to be about, or it kind of gives you some instructions, but it's a little bit vague. So you kind of, for me, I was overcomplicating things. So when I figured it out, I was kind of just, oh, okay, now I get it, and that's what a relief, because now I can move on to the next super hard fight, because this game was really hard. I was playing this on a hard mode, but even on easy mode, it is not forgiving. These boss fights, not even boss fights, I won't even say that, just fighting a room full of zombies can be so tricky when you have limited ammo and you'd have to sprint through that thing. Like, oh, that's where
that's when your heartbeat really starts to pick up, because you have a stamina bar as well, so you can only sprint for so long. Thankfully, they have like this nice jog speed that you can kind of get away from them, but it's still not quite fast enough to get away from them.
No, some of them are faster than that, and if you take this damage, you have to heal yourself in the menu in real time, and you could overdose.
So that was kind of a cool thing. They have, they're called afflictions, and basically if you use too many stims per se to boost your stamina, then you kind of actually, it starts to become a negative effect, so you won't have as high of a stamina, and it'll actually lower it. So you have like an addiction problem that you need to kind of monitor, while you're also monitoring all your ammo and putting individually all the ammo into the clips. It's just
a lot of inventory management.
It's
in this
inventory
game,
management, but they did it in a good job. I played on mouse and keyboard to start, and the controls, aiming I found was easy with the mouse and keyboard. Still difficult, but easier. But then I migrated to the controller, because while I was playing, I'm like, this would be great on console, and I could say seamless, plugged into my controller, instantly ported over. I didn't have to do anything.
All the controls were proper and how you'd expect it to be on an Xbox controller, so it really lent well to that. That's what I was playing on my PC. I connected my controller, and I only played it that way, because this kind of game, I knew I'd have to run, I knew I'd have to quickly shoot, and I'm a console shooter, so that was my angle at it. But
it was definitely a double-edged sword. It was like the aiming and the shooting was a little easier with the mouse and keyboard, but I had a hard time kind of running and being able to navigate around with the controller. So but that's a great controller as well, like just well done.
Well, and running around is kind of something you have to do sometimes, because it isn't feasibly possible to shoot every enemy, put them down because they get back up, and then move on to the objective and clean the place. You're not going to clean the place. So what ends up happening is that you're sprinting through these sections, and that's where your heart goes. That's where it's a different kind of survival, but it still matches that survival game kind of package, and I really thought that was cool how they break it up.
Yeah.
What about the others? All the survivors in the building? You're not gonna let us die here.
No, you're right. I guess I can't. I mean, especially you. Oh, what the heck. I'll lend a hand.
So Scott, wrapping up this review, man, what did you think about this? We'll just say it right now, this awesome game.
Yeah, so we clearly had a good time with this. It was very hard, but a lot of these things stuck out to me. The survival aspects were all nailed. The audio was on point, especially even in the menu. If you sit in the menu, the music got me into it. It was really cool. The aesthetic of it looked really nice, and it was very dark. I really like this game. I'm gonna have to give this an 8.5 out of 10.
Awesome, man. I feel the same way, of course, with all those great points. The suspense that this game brings, that fear factor, and just the acting and the story alone, it just got me right in the spot, man. 8.5 for me.
Roger that. Comms clear. En route to primary objective. Over and out.
Daymare 1998 is a great horror survival action-packed experience with great audio while traversing through creepy walkways and massive overrun facilities. Or even while sitting in the menu or inventory screen, the audio really just complements the rest of the game. Amazing controls also help with the inventory management because you are constantly refilling magazines or crafting better healing or buff supplies. The storyline is great with character paths intertwining and then lots of betrayal. This game I cannot recommend it enough, while also having tons of lore for this very dark, interesting world.
Nice.
I got you.
How many coins do you
I don't
got?
want to lose any of my stuff.
No.
1340.
I'm down to, well, now 791. People are cheap, man.
Oh yeah.
Alright. There is the comm center right behind us. We can go that way. Or we can go over to the Bard house.
Explore the points of interest to get familiar
Looks
with
like
the
we
area.
might get a little cold
There is
here,
usually
Drew.
good loot
We're
there.
gruesome twosome looking the way we do.
Snow's building
The
up.
same.
Yeah. Alright, let's go this way.
Yeah, let's hit this way.
It looks great. Looks so
Oh,
good in
yeah.
the snow. Man, oh man. We're gonna run into people here, man, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, gunfire.
Oh yeah. I'm getting inside. I'm gonna search in here anyways.
Nothing in here?
No.
Whew, that sounds close, man.
Well, it sounds like they're at the comm station. Let's try to sneak up on these guys.
Alright. Oh, damn, there's stuff going down. I got... Oh, no. Oh, yeah, I got one. 240. He's at the house. Oh, I wish there was like a pin.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm moving this way, Corey.
Okay, he's at that house over there in the distance.
Yep.
The one beyond this one.
Can we shoot him through a window? That'd be a wicked
You
shot.
can, yeah.
I'm sure you could. If you're good enough.
The comm's right there too, right?
Oh, I see that. Cool, let me... Oh, there's a safe
Oh,
here.
you trying to search that?
There's a lock here. Yeah, hang on. Got it.
Nice.
There's a bunch of stuff in there. Man. Oh, it's the window. The window just opened. How you open up the window? Whew. Shot me right up. Oh, the comms are right here.
Guy must,
This side. You think he bailed?
I don't know. I haven't seen any movement in or out of that.
You get a location?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's in the middle of that lake.
Did you go to the comm and use the comms?
Yeah.
Alright, what do you want to do?
I
Oh,
marked it, but it's pretty far away. This guy's freaking out. I think this guy may still be hiding in here.
Yeah, let's go find out. We're busting in!
No, I don't see him.
I bailed. Yeah, he took off. Huh. I wonder how long ago that was. We're sitting there waiting.
Yeah. I'm gonna move towards the drop. We're not too far.
Okay. I'm right behind you.
We'll be able to at least see somebody.
I didn't get too much stuff this time around, to be honest.
No, I haven't got much stuff either.
Eh. Your position is temporarily revealed.
Selecting the
Oh,
airdrop is rewarding.
stop
It's
using
also
that, people.
challenging to
Oh,
escape
great!
other
Just as the
outlanders.
airdrop's coming up.
Ooh.
Oh,
Where was that?
it sounded east.
Here comes the plane. Gonna shoot right through my leg. You can hear the howling of the wolves.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
There she is.
All right, let's give it a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got one. He's out there. Let's go get him.
Where's he at?
He's at the crate. Oh, I'm stuck? That was weird.
Oh, I'm in water.
Nice, I got him. I'm still getting shot at though.
Boy's shooting at us. His boy's, I don't know exactly where he's at.
Oh, he's up on the bridge up there. You good?
No. No.
Oh no, I'm exposed!
Carrying the airdrop as your position is exposed.
Are you good? Where are you? Oh, Corey.
I'm out by the crate. I was getting shot at. I had to bail. Which way did you go?
I'm over here. Oh, he's right here! Oh man, he lit me up! Dude, I'm dead. Oh, I was killed. He's right there. He's on my body. Get him, Corey. Oh, there's two of them. Oh, your
gun's garbage. Tommy gun is garbage.
Oh man, good try.
Not a distance weapon. Not a distance weapon. Oh man,
that was good though. That was fun.
Yeah.
Oh man.
There.
Yeah.
You got a couple things. Probably not worth the 60 this time around, but.
Subscribe to never miss a video, and help us by hitting that like button. Alright, Corey, this one's full of duty.
Who this Joker?
Corey, you and I jumped into an early access game called Dog Duty, and when I saw the title, it kind of caught me off guard, I gotta be honest. But this is a retro-style, top-down kind of brawler, in a sense?
It's like a squad-based, real-time, like, click-to-move action game, we'll call it, I guess.
Yeah, what'd you think?
You know what? Right away,
that kind of says everything.
You know what? I know. There's some good and some bad, at least from what I've experienced in this game.
Yeah.
I like the pixelated art style right off the bat. Me and you've played a lot of these pixelated style games, but it is an art style we both enjoy playing.
Yeah.
And I did like how they made this one work, and it felt like I was playing like an unbranded G.I. Joe game. Does that kind of make sense?
Absolutely,
like,
makes a lot of sense.
The way the characters go, because the characters have voiceovers, and it's it's meant to be kind of comical, and it's not so super serious.
No,
but,
not at all.
Man, every time you click, your guy's like, all right, let's go.
Like, what's up, bro? Let's go. And it just felt really bro-like in the whole experience of this game.
Yeah.
The pixelated art style, I like and I enjoy, but this one it felt really, really plain to me.
Yeah, the environment itself
was like one solid just color.
It was basic. There wasn't as much texture as maybe you'd want.
No, none.
And for this, it's, I don't know.
Like three colors, man.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. The color palette wasn't huge on this game, and neither were, the voiceovers. There's a lot of repetitive stuff.
Yeah.
But again, the whole idea is you're kind of this three-man squad, and you're going up against this larger organization, this squid-style octopus organization, the evil guys, the bad guys.
Exactly.
And the idea is it's kind of actually like an open world travel around, get to certain areas, and then, complete objectives or whatever. And I thought the open world aspect was actually kind of cool. I wasn't expecting that.
No,
I thought it was just going to be a whole lot of pointing and clicking, and the open world aspect actually brings vehicles into play.
Which is a huge downfall within the game, because everything, you can use a controller.
Yeah, I personally played mouse and keyboard because I'm trying to make my mouse and keyboard skills a little bit better, so I didn't go ahead and plug a controller
This game's not going to do that for you.
No?
Not at all. No, not at all. Because as you drag the mouse, you got to drag the mouse and point in the direction for your vehicle to go.
Yeah, you're not using ASWD
I would
or
prefer
the arrow
to use
keys or any of that.
Anything but the mouse, because every time you put your mouse out just a little bit, right into a wall, and then you try and compensate for it, I'd be right in the next. Man, I'm just bouncing off walls, and then I hop onto the river, then I'm just grinding up the banks I'm like, man, the controls for the vehicles
they're not
hated.
they're not overly clear on how to control the vehicle, so it's
I wasn't sure at first.
Exactly. So I was trying the buttons and nothing was working, and then the mouse. It's basically like the vehicle is chasing your mouse the entire time that you're driving the vehicle. So the thing is, you don't actually get it as blown up of a view of you driving as you'd like, because you find yourself going off the path and veering course, and so there are some things that could be improved about this game when it comes to that aspect of it. Because when you think of a pixelated game, you're thinking mainly the same environment all the way through, same type of play style, or we're going to be doing that top down the whole time.
Sure.
So it was nice to be able to jump into a vehicle. You kind of get this tank that you get to customize. All the vehicles you get to customize, put different weapons on turrets, things like that, because you're always running into enemies while you're traveling to certain objective locations.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things in this game that like the bones are there for like some kind of really cool game.
Yeah.
It's just it kind of fell short to me where it feels like it feels very repetitive.
It is, because you're constantly going from one enemy location to the next enemy location to almost do the same thing. Sometimes you're just getting supplies. Mm-hmm. Other times you're saving other people, kind of thing. So that's all. But that kind of felt really just. That's all I did.
Yeah, like there's some small customization options to this. Yeah, that's the thing.
It was tough.
So you collect not an in-game currency; it's just dollars to be able to upgrade your vehicle or upgrade weapons that your crew's carrying, things like that. Yeah. So like that aspect, I always like being able to customize what I'm doing. I don't want to have the same gun all the way through, or a couple variations of it. There are a lot of guns to choose from, which I thought was really, really cool. Mm-hmm. But earning that money isn't always as easy as it looks, because early on in this game, you've just got your 3 squad members and they only have certain abilities, which was also a nice little touch, as each guy's got a special that you can use once and then it recharges. The one guy can heal, the other guy's kind of got turns his regular machine gun into like a heavy machine gun, so he starts firing a ton off, which I always thought was actually kind of neat. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, like maybe if he had 2 or 3 things, because we're playing with these characters all the way through, so I want maybe a little more customization other than just like a new gun, because you're basically just pointing to move, pointing to attack, click, and that's exactly. And the enemies early in the game are kind of difficult to face, because as you move along some of the objectives, it's pretty manageable at first. You got to go destroy a bunch of boats or a few different crates, but then you kind of get to the last spot in that area, and holy cow, there's guys coming from everywhere. Yeah. And you don't get to heal up that often. I mean, the enemies you take down will drop some, some healables that you can pick up. But the problem is the way you control, so you can drag to get your whole guys, or you can select them individually. Yep. And sometimes if your crew's just rolling over that health drop, the right guy might not get it. Yeah. And that kind of sucks. I'd like to see it where it just gives the healing to, the lowest guy. The lowest guy. And so it's early access, so we can't be too critical on it. But at the same time, they want the early access and have people in it so we can tell them, things to improve this game. So, I mean, overall, Drew, it's not, it's definitely not the worst game we played out there. Oh, God, no. It's got its issues. If you've got to score this one, what do you think you're going to give it?
Where do I lie? All right, Corey. Okay, so repetitive gameplay, but I think the bones of the game is solid, and there's something there. It's just not quite polished and kind of finished enough to really see it all. Yeah. It is early access, so I'll give them that. But at the same time, I just felt like I'm doing the same thing and being so tough, and then not being able to use my abilities properly and healing up the wrong guy at sometimes. Honestly, I'm there with a 6.
You know what? I'm not far off with it. There's things about this game I enjoyed. We didn't really touch on the audio too much, but it's very kind of like 80s, 90s alternative rock music. It reminded me a lot of, like we're playing a Contra style game, or like I said, you feel like a G.I. Joe, right? Where Army of One kind of thing with this group of people you got, and that's the way it is. But there are just things that kind of it doesn't make you really want to come back and keep playing. Yeah. There's not a big enough draw to really pull you into this one. So you know what? I'm just going to be a little bit higher than you. I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Nice.
Dog Duty is a real-time, top-down squad-based shooter that at first seems like the type of game we could really get into, but as the game progressed, the missions became somewhat repetitive and the controls felt clunky on the mouse and keyboard. The audio fit the G.I. Joe style of gameplay, but I found myself turning the audio volume down after a while. For a $12 game, you shouldn't expect to be playing for hours, but there may be enough here for some people to really enjoy.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.
Alright, so heading into this week's coverage, we're on Stage 2, Week 3 with the Rainbow Six Canadian Nationals. And we had an incredibly intense matchup. We have two teams that have a lot on the line for clinching a spot at EGLX on the weekend of October 19th. The fourth place team will be coming out with $500, and the first place winners will be going home with $10,000. The matchup is between Supernova and Psychopaths Gaming. Supernova consists of a lot of Canadian national veterans that are all very talented individuals that have played on a few different teams in the past. Crusher is a new addition but a definite standout to their roster, with him playing in the pro scene in Rainbow Six Siege in the past. Psychopaths Gaming is another great team. Maybe a bit of an underdog given Supernova's experience, but still arguably one of the best French-Canadian teams. They had a big roster change, which was really bad timing overall given how much is on the line. Kozak couldn't make it due to LAN issues, but Orion subbed in, which is a familiar face on this team. But can Orion so last minute come through and help bring them to EGLX? Let's find out. Heading into the first match, we played on Supernova's choice of map, Consulate. Psychopaths Gaming chose to attack, which turned out to really work in their favor as they won the first 3 rounds in a row. Supernova may have tried to push back, but by the half, they were down 5-1. It was really interesting to see this because almost every push by Psychopaths Gaming took them forever to get started. There were far too many cases where there were 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 3 seconds even, and then the diffuser would be planted or they would get the remainder of the kills. This somehow worked out in their favor, but this was just way too close. During the second half, Supernova won 4 in a row, bringing the game to a neck-and-neck match. Unfortunately for Supernova, there was a game-changing point where Psychopaths Gaming finally gained some traction and then clutched the round, and then that preceded them to winning the remainder of the match. Hopping on to map 2, we have Supernova defending on Clubhouse. This match was another amazing matchup with some amazing back and forth gameplay at the start. But then Supernova, being the powerhouse that they are, were up 5-2 by the half, putting themselves in a really comfortable spot. Sadly though, again for Supernova, Psychopaths Gaming came back and were not messing around as they won the remainder of the map 7-5 again. This truly was a great matchup with some of Canada's best teams. Supernova couldn't pull it through, unfortunately, as they were kicked from the Canada Nationals, but I definitely look forward to seeing them next year. I think with a little more time spent playing together with Crusher and working on their defense, maybe on Consulate, they will definitely clinch a spot in Canada Nationals finals next year. Make sure to check out next week's episode for the matchup with Team Yes up against Livid Gaming for Stage 2 Week 4. Looking forward to covering it, and let's continue watching the awesome highlights from Stage 2 Week 3.
Drew, what's better than a zoo?
I don't know.
Planet Zoo! Drew, this time we checked out Planet Zoo by Frontier Studios. Now, this is a Zoo Tycoon game, and boy is it ever.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a tycoon style game. Now we jumped into the beta, so this is very early still, nowhere near polished, finished development of the game.
A very limited campaign.
Very limited campaign, very limited franchise mode, which I kind of struggled in, to be honest.
Very complicated, yeah. That one is for not the beginner.
No, you definitely want to start with the campaign. I enjoyed the campaign, but even then I kind of had a couple issues of, it says to do this, and I'm doing it, but it wasn't registering when I was doing that part of the tutorial kind of thing.
Hopefully that's just a beta snag, because I didn't have any sort of issues like that. No sort of game-breaking thing. Now, finding the different enclosures and figuring out what kind of plants go with the animals was where I was really having a hard time. So
there's a lot of micromanaging in building the zoo. So I built a small location, thinking I was gonna house like a tortoise. That'd be perfect, right? So I then adopt this tortoise, and I couldn't find my tortoise.
Oh no!
So I was like, where'd that go? But that was the franchise mode, and I honestly struggled a lot with the franchise mode because I found there was a lack of information, providing that there was so much information, but I didn't have the information I needed for that enclosure to cater to that particular animal, right? So if I was gonna have that tortoise, what plants go with that tortoise?
Yeah.
What kind of environment should I have for the tortoise to enjoy?
And they kind of give you, they'll tell you like it's an African tortoise or an Asian tortoise or whatever, and that kind of gives you the idea of what plants to put around it, but it's very complicated and it's not exactly that easy. You can't just select, you can select just Asian plants and then put those on the map, but that's not really what the tortoise maybe wants, and it's hard to kind of navigate all the panels because there's a lot of information presented to you.
Well, there's a ton of information presented to you at all the time, though. I thought, right? Like
every phase of it, you build this almost like a city sim level of detail when you're building the zoos. You can change the heights of the individual walls. You can all sorts of different customizable options to make it look like your zoo and how you want it to look. I thought that was really good and really solid. But then you get into these animal micromanagement parts where I kind of would have liked a little bit more of a simpler idea, but the depth is there. What a deep game.
Oh my goodness. So I had that enclosure. Couldn't find my tortoise whatsoever. But I had 2 wild dogs. So I brought the wild dogs in, and they're not happy whatsoever. So I'm trying to figure out why they're not happy. Okay, I figured out my enclosure was too small. Made it bigger. But then their social isn't good. I'm like, okay, I need more maybe? Like it tells you the problem, but it doesn't tell you the solution.
Yeah,
which is very kind of the issue. No.
Yeah, and sometimes it won't even get into the specifics of the issue. It'll just say the terrain isn't right.
No.
So you're up to guess at what kind of rock or whatever the animal actually wants, and that's interesting if somebody knows all these things. But if you're not an expert on animals, and you're like me, you don't know what to do. So I feel like we're kind of missing a little bit of that tutorial stage. The campaign functions as a tutorial, and it's very well guided.
I think it is. Excellent.
They had interesting voiceover. And
comical-ish?
Yeah, different personalities talking to you and stuff, and I thought that was interesting, and it kept me going, and I was intrigued, and I was learning a lot from that. But you're right, jump into the franchise, and I feel like I'm missing
everything.
All the other lessons.
Yeah, no, I thought honestly the campaign is probably the way I'm going to stick with the most for the longest portion to really get your ground and understand how you're going to get your zoo and build that zoo and populate it, because I was instantly running into money issues, but I didn't have the population for the zoo. I only had 2 animals, and they weren't happy from the get-go whatsoever. So it was a constant struggle that I never felt I was able to catch back up to please and make a well-rounded zoo.
Or even just to pull in that population. And if they are, they're probably pretty angry PETA types, not happy about your zoo construction. But an interesting idea, and I want to see where this one goes with a couple more tutorials, because it's just so detailed that I know you really can, if this is your kind of game, you really can make the zoo that you want to make.
I've seen stuff on YouTube that other people have made, and it will blow your mind, the things that they've created. I saw one particular that was underwater, and you can see through the clear glass, and they had like an alligator up top, and you can see below, and it was, I'm like, man, you can sink hours into just one enclosure.
Absolutely.
And you can be there for 10, 12 hours, no problem, just focusing on that, because you're able to minutely place every little detail from the rock to a piece of like grass to almost
Long
like,
grass,
you know what I mean?
tall grass,
Exactly.
short grass,
This plant, that plant.
rocks, every plant across the planet almost.
It's incredible.
And all the animals to match, and it's what a very detailed thing, and that's what kind of separates this one from the other kind of zoo tycoons. Is even when you get into that enclosure, there's so much detail there.
Yeah, it's not just go and you just drop the enclosure and you're done. Now, they did the Zoo Tycoon initially on the Xbox, and that was a matter of, okay, you place your enclosure, you then drop a little animal in there, and then you do a little food section over here and some other stuff. Here it is, you do wall by wall by wall by tree by branch by post by, if you want to do
the slow feeder, is it a big feeder bowl, and then when it comes to toys,
much detail.
Do you know what a lion plays with? Because I don't know what a lion plays with. It's hard to do
not
that
slicing at me, I'm okay. So.
Yeah, it was hard to kind of match their wants and their needs.
Yes.
Because you just don't know.
I just need a better understanding of how I'm supposed to build the enclosure that's going to adopt to the animal that's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, although you and I were confused a little bit within Planet Zoo, I think if you come from the Planet Coaster or anything else the Frontier have done, you really know what you're getting into with this type of game. Planet Zoo offers so many options. Whether you want to be a little more simplistic like I do, maybe kind of stick to the campaign, or if you want to go in full detail and then you go into the franchise mode and do completely, like almost like a sandbox build, that's there for you as well. Wrapping up, I think it's definitely something you should kind of keep your eye out for.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Definitely have to agree with that. It's a very detailed game, and we're only going to see that make more sense as time goes on and they kind of iron out some of the kinks with this. So there's a couple issues here and there, but overall, I have to recommend this one because if this is your kind of game, you're going to be all about this.
Absolutely. You should check it out.
Come on, let's head over to our warthog habitat and see what needs doing there.
As of right now, this is probably the biggest title on the market.
Oh, definitely
I would say.
the biggest one that's dropped recently, and I think obviously it's hitting
obviously
the market
for
the hardest.
Xbox too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
right. This is Xbox's biggest launch in a long time because they really haven't had anything. They've been really dry for any exclusive titles.
Yeah.
So finally, Gears 5 comes, and everybody I think is a little skeptical.
Well, the technical test did not go well.
No, there's bad.
But again, it's called a technical test.
Exactly.
And a lot of people have a hard time seeing past that. I imagine probably the hardcore Gears players, and they're excited to play a new game and they jump into something like this or something like the technical test and have the problems they had. But I mean, the nice thing is that technical test happened like a month and a half ago. Almost 2 months ago.
And then they fixed it because when Gears 5 launched, it had 3 million players in its opening weekend, setting new records for Xbox Game Pass with the biggest launch week of any Xbox Game Studio title this generation.
And throwing it in Game Pass was just such a good move.
Oh yeah, that's likely how they fed all these players right into it.
Oh yeah,
but without, I didn't even experience any sort of server issues at all. There was no crowding getting dropped. We've been disconnected several times, but
in the multiplayer end, and it's
multiplayer.
But that was like we're almost talking like launch day. Like a couple days within launch, we tried to play multiplayer, and again, like any multiplayer online game that's
never
looking
smooth.
to support, you're always going to have some sort of server issue.
Yep.
But then, like we played the other night, and it was like automatic. We had no problem.
Fun.
Yeah, the only thing, and at least it waited till the end of the round to kick me that one time. So it booted me out at a weird server connect when we came back to the lobby. So that was okay. I didn't lose anything.
Yeah,
that was important because so many games just don't get that.
No, it's true. It's true.
It said that the performance easily doubled the first week's debut of Gears of War 4. It made Gears 5 the most played Xbox Game Studio title. Man, I couldn't say the line when I was doing the news earlier for the show, and I still can't do it.
Oh, man.
But either way, the most played Xbox Game Studios title in the first week since 2012, Halo 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody remembers when that one dropped.
Yeah, that's a big milestone.
So that's great. And then, of course, they came on to the Xbox Game Pass for PC, being the biggest title there. But as I said earlier, the PC just got Game Pass. So this is their biggest title of the launch.
It's going to be their big standout,
So, of course, this is going to make huge numbers over there.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But overall, Game Pass on the Xbox, it kind of solidifies why they've made this move. Because if they didn't have Game Pass for all of us on the Xbox, how many people would have bought Gears 5?
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So I stopped playing Gears after Gears 2, and not for any other reason, like not because I disliked it or anything, but I moved on, right? And then Gears 3 happens, and you don't get your hands on it. Then, Gears 4 comes out, and you're kind of like, okay, well, I didn't play 3, so you just start thinking about other things, right? And you push it off, and you don't think about playing it. So, yeah, having the ability to have it on Xbox Game Pass makes it way more tangible for people, especially a title that you could go out and pay $90 for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, normally.
Really? And so, I mean, the ability that you can hop on and do your Xbox Game Pass or the Game Pass Ultimate.
But it's probably pretty smart because I was looking at upgrading, like my gold's going to run out or my last month of Ultimate Game Pass or whatever is going to run out. So I'm looking at my options. It's 12, I think, $13 a month or 17 for the full Game Pass Ultimate. So they're going to do that. They're going to get that from me month after month after month. Even if I play Gears, 3 times, then they've gotten that money out of me.
Oh, exactly, for sure.
It's extracted it out of me, and whether I played it or not. So it's I think it's a smart move for them. They're definitely raking in money out of it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And getting that Gears out to potential new players through the Game Pass even.
Yeah, people that already have Game Pass, and then they're like, okay, this huge title, let's download it and check it out.
Well, exactly. Yeah, now they're getting DLC when it comes out, whatever else.
The game pulled me in right away. Like I said, I haven't played Gears since Gears 2, hop into the campaign, and I'm like, whoa, why did I stop playing Gears?
I'm so glad that they did this with this one because 4 was just like
it was mediocre.
Very forgettable. Very mediocre. Long pace.
I think this one hit. Like they nailed it with this.
Well, yeah, you can obviously catch our review over on our website, YouTube, Facebook pages. All those. Our review of Gears 5 is there.
We did a Let's Play as well.
Yeah, we got a Let's Play coming up on this week's episode.
Yep, that was fun. It was a good
the
time.
new escape mode.
Yeah. Hectic.
I'm still sweating.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
No, it was a good time. I'm glad they did this. I was when they first announced that they're coming with Game Pass, I was nervous for the first party studios because when you put that title on there, how much are you losing in sales?
Yeah, it feels like they're selling out.
It feels like you're going to lose to me. So when you see Rare come with Sea of Thieves, I'm going, you going to make anything on that? And then you got Forza Horizon coming.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a big title for you guys that you normally sell a lot of in the Forza Motorsport series, and it automatically comes to Game Pass.
Yeah, the financial breakdown of how those developers make their money by giving the game to Game Pass, I'd love to see.
Yeah.
I'm sure those are not numbers we'll be able to get our hands on.
No.
But again, like obviously, it must be lucrative if they're willing to put a AAA title like Gears 5.
They must.
I'm gonna go out there. I'm calling it AAA. Like, like the game started. Like you're watching the helicopter fly by, and like I'm not even watching. I'm not even watching in 4K yet.
Dude,
like,
you load up the menu, and the menu's in like 8K. I don't even have a good TV there. Like, whoa,
it's wild. It's so true.
Yeah, no, I don't know. They really nailed that one out of the park.
Yeah,
it was impressive.
It's been good, man, and I'm excited just to play more of it too.
Let's kick it into what we've been playing because Crystal and I beat the campaign for Gears 5. Played the entire thing split screen.
Nice.
Never done that before my entire life as a gamer.
Was it awesome?
Oh man, it's so much
great.
That's great. That's so good.
It was so good. So okay, so we talked about Gears 4, right? And so we finished Gears 5. And Crystal goes, "What else can we play?" I don't know. So I'm bouncing around over on PlayStation. I got the Handsome Jack collection.
Yeah.
Plus. I said we can check out Borderlands. Okay, we jumped into that and we're like, and didn't really feel it, right? Didn't like the split screen on that. And it's first person. Neither one of us are really that first person kind of player.
That fishbowl view is awful until you play with the settings,
So I almost felt like you need to play that game single.
Yeah.
Or online with somebody else, not a split screen. The minute you put that in split screen, it just it took away from the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of hard. We're like, nah. She goes, well, what else? I said, well, there is Gears 4. So now we're going to go back. Actually,
the prequel.
Yeah. So now she'll have a better understanding of Gears 4 and how it all affected Gears 5. Right?
Yeah.
So we're about to jump in Gears 4 here shortly. So wrapped up Gears 5, which was wicked.
Yeah.
And then we've been playing multiplayer Gears 5. Playing more of Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
Season. I wrapped up my season this week.
Still grinding.
I can't seem to pull away.
I saw your all red Scorpion. That was cool.
Yeah.
I hope you got that from a tournament.
I did. That was the first tournament.
Yeah, you wanted that one.
I did want that one. This one, though, I looked at it. Wasn't as good. It wasn't as good. It's Jade, Liu Kang, and Kung Lao. And their outfits are... So when you play them in the story campaign, they're like taken over. They're like the dead zombie-like. And this is their version of their regular kind of healthy self.
Oh, okay.
okay.
So I'm like, yeah, whatever. Who
It's
cares?
just normally mode.
But
Yeah, it's like nothing you haven't really already seen.
Exactly. So I was kind of disappointed in that. But we'll see how the next one is. And I'm kind of debating. I'm about to switch up characters. I played against Garrus the other day. Man, when he hits you, she hits hard.
Yeah. Some of those characters look so cool to me.
Frick.
Yeah,
the guy with the 2 guns. Forget his
Aaron
name.
Black.
Yeah, Aaron Black. Like, there's all these characters that I'm like not into.
Yeah, I'm not in this at
I
all.
see it,
Like,
and I'm
I'd say,
whoa,
yeah,
they
I'm
look
so
so
foreign to
cool.
these games.
And then the skins on the old characters, that was cool. I want to see if you unlock a cool Sub-Zero. I want to see that. 'Cause
There's
that's
some
my
cool
favorite guy.
Sub-Zero ones. I was whipped by Sub-Zero the other day too. They keep doing the same few moves over and over and over.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
couldn't
screw
figure.
you. I'm blocking your ass.
I was trying to do that to you, but I couldn't figure out the combinations. Ice ball, jump and slide. Ice ball, jump and slide. It's not working. I don't.
They'll do this slide into a grab, and then they'll throw you against this brick wall or ice wall, and then hit you again. And then if they can, they'll keep just rinse and repeat. Because oh man,
You probably have like 1 frame to block during or something to end it.
So
Yeah.
you gotta get in there and block, or because I'm Scorpion, maybe able to vanish from one screen to the next, pop out the other side. So there are certain things. I jumped into, obviously we had Torchlight 2 for review.
Yeah.
I got Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey that I reviewed. I didn't really care for that game. Man, that game is fucking weird.
Yeah.
It
looked cooler than it played, eh?
It did. Yeah. So my review is going up this week, but there are just issues. I'm trying to jump from one tree to the next. I literally jumped, so I'm recording gameplay, literally jumped from one tree through 2 branches and the main tree itself, like the trunk, and then 2 branches, and I went right through them and broke my leg. Right on the ground. Boom. I'm like, you can't, you're
Broke.
ape, grab something.
Darwinism, you're out.
Man,
that's frustrating.
I'm
See,
like,
that's why the apes with weak shin bones didn't evolve beyond that.
Couldn't stand. She broke.
Yeah, that was irritating. Jumped into Spider-Man, still grinding away at that. I jumped back into Red Dead Online.
Nice.
Because they got the new 3 classes out
Beat
there.
up Nate again.
Yeah, that was so much fun. But yeah, I did. I became the hunter, bounty hunter.
Nice. That's probably what I was gonna pick too.
Everybody's gonna pick the bounty hunter. It's the coolest one. So I've done that. I've done the collector one, and you're just collecting trinkets. Is all you have to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind
Well,
of.
maybe you play the game that pace. Who knows, right?
I don't know. I thought I'd jump there first, and then I got her little story clip, and then I'm like, now what do I do? Ready, Nate? Because we are ending off the show. We're done wrapping up this week's episode. Now, each and every week, you guys typically hit us up with one of your clips to highlight the show. This week, we got this guy ending us off.
Yeah, well, with all this Siege, that I've been talking about and playing, I have a pretty cool clip with a 4-kill win.
Nice, let's check it out.
Friendly, last operator standing. They've ceased attempting to secure the container. Biohazard container securing pod. Take out the hostiles. Prevent further access to the biohazard container. Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.